And welcome everybody to another episode of the Pulse of Fins Nation. I am your host, Louis Sung, and I am joined by Ron Caniff, who has returned from his little sabbatical. How are you, sir?
What's up, man? I'm all right. Hanging in there. How are you?
I'm hanging in there too, man. It's like as the title of the show says, I guess we need to check our pulses because it's not. Let me be clear real quick. The Dolphins excite me. The rest of life does not.
Yeah,
which is why
Dolphins are about all. I'll be honest with you. Dolphins are about all that excite me about life right now. That's just the straight up truth. So at least I have them, because if I didn't have them, I would have shit else lately.
Something to look forward to on Sundays. That's what we've got going.
Exactly. Look forward to watching this offense, enjoying being in the midst of seeing. I think people don't realize that we're in the midst of watching what is now and possibly will be for the season, like an all-time great offense. So I'm enjoying it.
No, as of right now, as of this moment, week 6 we're going into now, week 6. As of week 6, the Miami Dolphins 2023 offense is the most prolific offense in NFL history. That is
through 5 games. Correct.
That is not hyperbole. That is statistical fact. And just I know that most people are like, oh, the numbers. Like, yeah, the numbers. Sometimes you like the numbers. Sometimes numbers are good numbers, good numbers. Because when was the last time that you can imagine? Can you remember the Dolphins ever being, let alone the best? When can you even remember them being top 10 in anything when it comes to offense?
Last year.
Okay, and
before that, no idea.
That just goes to show you the Dolphins have been struggling to find any kind of rhythm on offense for the longest time. And now, not only are we top 5, we're top 4, top 3, top 2, top, period. Tell Patrick Mahomes he can go kick rocks. He's
I wouldn't take it that far.
Is he's
leading still Patrick Mahomes?
He's still Patrick Mahomes, yes, but he's not leading the best offense in the NFL.
No, he isn't. No, not for right now. Anyway, we got some tougher opponents coming up, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully,
one of them is Patrick Mahomes. In fact,
yes, yep. Philly, Mahomes. We got Buffalo again. We got Dallas. And I guess
is Dallas Ravens on that list?
They got a good defense. They do. We should beat them, but they got a good defense.
I love how we can just.
We're gonna win some of those tough games, like some of those big games. We're gonna get our share of them. We're not gonna. I don't believe we're gonna get shut out by the top teams that we'll be playing, and then the teams that aren't top, we should be beating most of those. I mean, sometimes stuff happens, right? Even Philly lost to Washington last year.
Yep, and although they are unbeaten for now, we'll work on that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, for sure.
Right. So we got a lot of stuff to get into. We're going to go into a few tweets that I found from Twitter. And before we do all that, though, just want to go ahead and mention that, as always, this show is brought to you by our good friends over at Pricepicks.com. Pricepicks.com is a revolutionary fantasy platform where you can now pick up to 6 different players across professional sports leagues. Whether that's the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, the NHL is back, so you can enjoy some hockey stuff if you want to do that. All you have to do is just choose whether your player is going to go over or under their initial stat rank. And by the way, Taco Tuesday is today, so there is still one taco available for you to use. It's Isaiah Pacheco. So you want to try to get the over on his discounted prop over there on Price Picks, you can go ahead and jump in on that. So all you have to do is just use the promo code 5, that's FIVE, and they will match up to $100 on your initial deposit when you sign up. That's promo code 5, FIVE. Go to PricePicks.com, deposit your $100, and let Price Picks give you $100 of their dollars for you to play with and get started winning today. All right, so for the first time ever, even in 2022, Ron, we were excited about the team, sure, but there was always that little nagging thought in the back of our head. It's like, okay, yeah, we're looking good, but there was always the but just there, like, but something's gonna happen.
We still have a but, but we just lost A-Chan for no Chan. It's A-Chan. Not A-Chain, not A-Chain. It's A-Chan. We still lost A-Chan for I don't know, an undetermined amount of time. So that really, really sucks because he was about to be a Rookie of the Year, man. Like if he had stayed healthy, he was the guaranteed. No one was even going to touch him Rookie of the Year, but hopefully we'll get him back in time for some of the more important games. We probably won't have him back in time for Philly, but I'd love to have him back in time for KC We don't know everything yet. And then there was the Buffalo game. We still can't seem to get that monkey off of our back. Josh Allen, we're his little kids, and he puts us in our place every single time we think this is the time we're gonna take down the mighty Josh Allen, especially in Buffalo. Even when the game's close, he still has a great game. So kudos to him, I guess. He gets up to play the Dolphins and did once again. But besides that, yes, our offense has been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
And sometimes, a lot of times, like I've often looked at it, and I've long time ago, I remember doing a story on now defunct Fin Maniacs, talking about how what really wins championships. And I went ahead and I looked it up. Like I was so sure of my theory that it's ultimately, yes, it is the defense that wins championships. But as I looked it up, and I kind of had to change my premise just a smidge, because some of the story that I wrote was showing that, yes, a lot of teams that won the Super Bowl at the end of the year, those were top 5 defenses. However, they were also top 10 offenses as well.
Yeah.
Well, the reality of the situation is that a top 5 offense will get you to the playoffs, might even get you to the Super Bowl. But if you really want to be the championship team, you got to have a combination. I think I can count, maybe there was like one team that won the Super Bowl and did not have a top 10 defense to go with their offense. So obviously, once again, against the New York Giants, the defense looked a lot better. 7 total sacks. Christian Wilkins looked fantastic against an albeit totally decimated Giants offensive line. Bradley Chubb looked good against a decimated Giants offensive line. And I get it. Some people might put an asterisk on it and say, okay, where were the starters for the Giants offensive line? It's not like they were doing anything spectacular. Okay, you want to go ahead and play that game? Sure, we can say it, but we've been complaining that it doesn't matter who they face. It doesn't matter who they go against. Dolphins can't seem to rush the passer no matter what they do. Well, they did. And Andrew Van Ginkel would have had 2 sacks if it wasn't for some illegal contact drill way back down the field against Xavier Howard.
Sorry, did I distract you there?
You distracted me just a smidge. You just
by putting up. I just thought I'd put up the offensive stats there to kind of look at the team stats.
No, yeah, and this is a perfect illustration of why every single Dolphins fan in the world should be extremely excited about what they're looking at. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what statistical category you try to put them at. If right now you have it sorted by yards per game, Dolphins are first place with 513.6, and then you keep going. Keep going. Okay, yards per game in passing. Miami Dolphins are at the top, 327.8 yards per game passing. How about the rushing yards? 185.8 rushing yards per game. And overall, just not, even if you don't want to, even if we want to take away the per game, right now, look, you have it highlighted 36.2 points per game for the Dolphins, and you don't even have to use those numbers. Just go over the totals, just the straight up totals for everything, right? Just like go ahead and do totals.
Are you talking about? Oh,
yeah, just that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So in overall yards, again, most prolific offense in NFL history, 2,500. And what is that? A 68? 2,568 yards total?
2,568.
In passing. Oh, look, the Dolphins are on top again. 1,639 yards from Tua Tagovailoa. How about the rushing? 929 yards rushing for the Miami Dolphins. There is not a single statistical category on offense on the entire ESPN website that the Dolphins are not in first place. First place, not second, not tied for first. First place, the Miami Dolphins. And okay, I have to correct myself real quick. Tua did not throw all 900. Like, what was the number for passing yards? 1,639.
1,639.
Tua did not throw all 1,639. I have to give Mike White his little moment there, throwing deep to Robbie Chosen during the Broncos game. So some of those yards belong to Mike White. So
yeah, but they still belong to the Miami Dolphins.
But even if you took away that pass, it would still have the Dolphins in first place by a wide margin.
Yeah, for sure.
So all these teams,
it's crazy.
All these teams that you're looking at, as we're saying, they're Super Bowl contenders. San Francisco 49ers, obvious Super Bowl contender. Philadelphia Eagles, once again, showing themselves to be a phenomenal team. Buffalo is always going to be right up there with everybody else. Miami, you don't expect to see Miami in those categories. Some people would look at those numbers and think, okay, wait, are we looking at the Dan Marino years somehow? Are we looking at the days of Dan Marino and Joe Montana?
Yeah, this is better than the Dan Marino years. I mean, honestly.
Like Buffalo's up there. Jim Kelly, did he come back from the?
Wonder
Is he
if I
come
can
back
pull
again?
up. Wonder how far it lets me go. Oh, just 2004. I was curious if I could pull up to 19. I know this is way back. I was just wondering if I could pull up the 1984 season.
For that, you go to Pro Football Reference.
Yeah, that was Miami, Miami's big year, Marino's big year.
Go to Pro Football Reference real quick. Here, let me just remove this real quick so you can do your typing in some relative anonymity.
No, I should just have it on the. Should just be on the tab. Oh, you removed. No, I was doing it per tab, so I was fine. But let's see.
Yeah, because
here.
if you do it per tab, it still shows ESPN. You have to like actively use that tab that you were.
No, I know. That's why I was in a different tab showing my poor typing skills. Let's see here. So 1984 team offense rankings.
Yeah, that would do it.
Rankings.
So you go to Pro Football Reference and it's going to pop up all that lovely, sweet data.
Yeah, I know. It's always a jumble of stuff, though.
I mean, Pro Football Reference has always been my go-to when it comes to stuff like this. I remember I was a long time ago, though, that I used to do this because I was obsessed with always trying to make sure that I had every, like when I played like NFL 2K on NFL 2K1 on my Sega Dreamcast, I always wanted to make sure that whoever was on my team had to have some connection to the Dolphins somehow. Like I would refuse to put anybody on my team that didn't have a Dolphins connection. So I would sign Dan Marino off of free agency because in NFL 2K1, him and Steve Young were free agents. Like I would go and I would trade somehow for Ricky Williams. I would go and grab guys that had not even joined the Dolphins yet, but
just to make them Dolphins, just so you could play with them, huh?
Yeah. So I would find guys that had not yet been Dolphins, but as of present day were, so that way I could go back in time if I could do that. Like I would go and grab Todd Perry from the Bears, and I would go and grab Jamie Nails from the Buffalo Bills. So because they weren't Dolphins yet, but they would be in the future. So for me, that counted. So have you found the numbers yet?
Not really. Honestly. I don't know. Pro Football Reference, when you look up stuff, has too much crap on the screen to try and filter through. I was really just looking for a nice list like, oh, here we go. Is that right? No, that's current. I was like, that's not right. That's because I recognize these. No, actually, this might be it. Hold on one second. I think that's funny. It's just funny to see those same two teams up at the top. That's why I thought it was like, I was like, oh, Miami and San Fran. That's old. But never mind. I see Washington Redskins. So let me share again here. And oh, hold on. Stop share. I shall present. I shall share the screen.
Yeah, mine is
and share. There we go. We should be there.
Oh, switch to Allstate. We are not sponsored by Allstate.
So they were number one in total.
Can you lower that, please?
Oh yeah, sorry, get rid of that. There we go.
And
better.
Okay, what you can't get rid of.
And I get rid of this. There we go.
Okay, yes, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Pop up smudge. Okay, so we got the Dolphins. They led with 59-36 or 69-36 total yards. They led in. Let's see, where do they show? What I don't see on here is points. Maybe I'm missing it. See points anywhere? I know you see it smaller than me.
Yeah, it's smaller for me, but what's that PF there?
PF. Oh yeah, points for.
Points scored.
Yeah.
There you go.
Points for. Yeah, they were number one
the
in
Dolphins
points.
are on the top.
Yeah.
Followed by the San Francisco 49ers.
They were number one in yards. Yep, followed by the Niners. That's the same thing. It's funny. Passing yards. Yeah, by the Chargers. Was that the what was that quarterback's
you can
name?
click
Dan
on
Fouts? Was that the Dan Fouts days back in 1984?
You should be able to click on it, actually.
If I click on
it.
it.
Let me do it for you. Let's see who was the quarterback. Yep, Dan Fouts.
Yeah, so just trying to remember. Oops. Okay. And then, but here, rushing. See, that's the difference is, I mean, we weren't. Sorry, we weren't even.
Home chef.
I don't think we were just middle of the road in rushing.
Yeah, it was not great.
Which actually isn't terrible, but you know,
for the Dolphin years,
no. Look at the Bears. 3,000 yards in rushing, man. That's what would be in Walter Payton, right?
Right? Well, you can always just click the button and find out. Let's see who was the running back for the Bears. Yep, Walter Payton.
Yeah, there you go.
1,684 yards rushing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just amazing that we're leading in passing and yards. That's insane. I mean, that truly is insane, because even in 84, when we led the league in points, we led the league in total yards, we led the league in passing. Like, it wasn't even it wasn't even close in rushing. So it's amazing to have a lead in both. That's just crazy.
And just to be clear, by the way, that was, if I'm not mistaken, because I know that I'm a little younger than a lot of other folks here, but that was the year that the Dolphins actually went to the Super Bowl, correct?
Yeah, they went to the Super Bowl.
They lost
to the Niners,
to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
So
you could easily see, not easily, because I think the Dolphins have a tough path in the AFC, tougher than San Fran has in the NFC, but you could definitely see a Miami San Fran Super Bowl. Like, that wouldn't be, that just feels
talk about
like
an NFL script.
Yeah, that feels like an NFL script. Another, Miami San Fran Super Bowl, and McDaniel versus Shanahan. How cool is that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then you throw in the factor of, because what was Marino's second year in the league, right? With the Dolphins in 1984. Yep. And
that's where he broke all the records with the 5,000 yards and the 48 touchdowns.
And here's now Tua Tagovailoa. If you really want to get nitpicky, right? This is the second year ever that Tua has been in the NFL now that he's actually been able to grow in an offense. He may as well have been a rookie last year. It was basically like, we're hitting the reset button on your career, kid.
Yeah, I think the things he got in the first 2 years, obviously, was being able to learning more about NFL defenses and being able to get better with his anticipation with that. I think that helped, but I don't know that he really picked up much else besides that. Those first 2 years, he learned compared to what he picked up
he picked up some emotional scarring, is what he.
Yeah, he definitely picked up emotional scarring, and you could see why. I'd heard that when McDaniel called him, it's like, yeah, in his mind, he was kind of like, we'll see. I heard this before, but it's truly now you can tell that he has full faith in McDaniel, and McDaniel has full faith in him, and that's important. And there's not a lot of quarterback coach duos where you could see like that. They really have full faith in each other. I mean, let's go through some of the major ones. Andy and Pat, right?
That was my first
100%. Those two, right? Like two peas in a pod, so to speak. Like, those guys are they're joined.
They're showing up in State Farm commercials together.
Yeah, so exactly.
That's how you know.
Exactly. And I'm looking forward to when Tua and McDaniel are in State Farm commercials together. But even if you look at Josh Allen and McDermott now. You could say that McDermott sometimes gets a little nervous about Josh Allen because he has a tendency to turn the ball over a lot. You could say that Josh Allen might get frustrated with McDermott because he's more of a defensive-minded coach, and it hasn't always been about offense, and they don't build a rushing game. And you know what I saw in Jacksonville in that game? The Buffalo had done such a good job all year of running the ball. You know what all of a sudden they did in that Jacksonville game? They just stopped running it again. They just stopped running it and started to try to throw Josh Allen show, and they lost. So
that's exactly
there's an
what
example.
They said would happen as soon as you try to make them play hero ball. Things are going to go sour.
I wonder about Shanahan and Purdy. That's a little bit newer relationship, a little bit newer, but it seems like it's going well. Soriano,
all Purdy has to do is just not mess up, and everything works. So
Nick Sirianni, did I have his name right? The coach of Philly, Sirianni.
Sirianni,
yeah, Sirianni and Hurts. They seem to have a good thing going. I don't think Staley and Herbert do. I don't. I think that's a no. I have a feeling that's headed the wrong way, and they ain't getting rid of Herbert. So you know what I mean. So I'm sure you could think of a lot of other. Clearly it's not going well for Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. No. That's going worse than it was going for Hackett and Russell Wilson, probably.
Yes, Sean Payton needs to go back to the booth where he can safely badmouth any. Well, he can't actually. No, he can't safely badmouth anybody anymore.
He was so terrible.
Like he had his Hall of Fame pedigree. He had his reputation.
Yeah,
he just threw it all away.
He's ruining it right now. He really is good.
Maybe that's why Rex Ryan. Maybe that's why Rex Ryan won't come back to the NFL ever. He's like, no, everybody already looks at me as a defensive guru. I'm good. I'm going to sit back, relax, and let everybody else
talk
do
way
too
much crap about too many people too, man. You stay in that booth long enough, talk too much crap about too many people, then you go out there and everybody you play remembers when you said this or when you said that. That's right. And then they want to go after you.
John Gruden, for God's sakes. Yeah, that went
true.
well.
That's true. Yeah, that went terribly. But yeah, man, it's an exciting time to be a Dolphins fan. I mean, what can we say? I know we haven't really even talked about the Giants game. I don't know what there was to talk about. Giants are an inferior team, and even though we made multiple mistakes, turned the ball over 3 times, we still pretty much demolished what we did what we should do against a team like that. We should also do that against Carolina. I don't know that they'll have a prayer. So let's see. I like this one from Aaron
Anders. Isn't it poetic that the Patriots are now the worst in the AFC East by a long shot?
No, by a long shot. They're terrible. Even their defense is starting to fall apart on them. At least the first few games, they're starting to, they're looking like their defense was going to be good, and now it's just starting to even falter on them. And some of that is because their offense is so terrible, it hurts their defense. You know what I mean? It hurts their. You know how the Dolphins hurt their defense, honestly? Besides turning over the ball, which they did, they score too fast. I mean, but hey, you got to throw up the points, man. Like, you got to throw up the points. If our defense could get more, I'm telling you right now, if the Dolphins defense could get stops, like they need to get stops, Dolphins could score 60 points all the time. Like, it could happen all the time because they would have more opportunity. Look at the time of possession. Let's see here.
The Giants won time of possession last game.
By a long shot too. So let's see here. I'll look it up and I'll bring it on the screen.
Like, that's insane. You think about it. Really think about it. That in and of itself is the talking point for me, Ron. The Dolphins had a bad game on offense by their standards, and they still put up 30 and 500 yards.
Yeah, we ranked 20th at 28 minutes and 55 seconds in time of possession. We have the number 1 offense in the NFL. That's pretty crazy.
You would think that a team that scores that much would have the ball almost 90% of the time.
Because we average like 10 yards a play. That's why. I mean, it's just like every play is like, and 5, 6, 7 plays we score. 5, 6, 7, 8 plays we score. If it goes 8 plays, that's like a lot. Man, I'm telling you what, my favorite drive so far was after, I think, wasn't it after Tua's second pick? Our first drive after Tua's second pick, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, oh, there's no Tua like post-pick Tua, which is true. Like, statistically, if you go back through it, after he throws a pick, he's the number 1 quarterback in the history of the NFL.
He just
on the next drive mode. He's just so on fire. Didn't matter because McDaniel said, oh, yeah, well, watch this. He ran the ball, I think it was 8 straight times from the 75 touchdown. I think it was the 75. Maybe it was even deeper than that. I don't recall.
Raheem Mostert took that ball in. He actually helped my fantasy team, so thank you, Raheem. I appreciate that.
That's good. So, man, if you're a Mostert, if you hold Mostert now in fantasy, I hope you didn't drop him because of, A-Chain. Because he, man, he's going to be a monster. Like, this should be a big game for him because we're running the crap out of the ball. The funny part, too, is we got the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL, and we didn't run the ball at all in week 1. I mean, it wasn't even close. But
yeah, that's why I was thinking to myself, oh, it was all a lie. He doesn't want to run the ball. He wants to let Tua throw it 50 times a game. Yeah, I was so convinced. I think a lot of people were. Yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, he was just a running guru because you saw the interview, because he felt like he had to be, because he had to kind of own the knowledge or be top dog in the knowledge of something to show his value in the coaching room, because all these people knew they were such experts in this, that, and the other. So he figured, I got to be an expert in this. Then we started to think, but he never really wanted to do that. Yeah, clearly he likes to run the ball. He's really good with it. He's good with the run plays, good with the pass plays, good with the overall play calling, unless it's 3rd and 1. Then he sucks. I don't know what's up with that. But, yeah, we'll see, man. I'm disappointed that we don't have A-Chan, but, we got Mostert. We got Wilson coming back. I don't know when he's actually going to play, but we got him coming back. I need to go pick him up in fantasy. Jeff Wilson?
Yeah. Why not?
I don't know.
I mean, if you look at how they split, look, they're not going to sit there. If anybody thinks that Mostert is now going to get all of his own Mostert work and the Achane work, I don't think so. Like that dude's gonna have 3,000 yards. They
will give it to Savon Ahmed
for now, yes. But when Wilson gets back, it's gonna be the Wilson show. So I think I might go pick up. I think Wilson is a good pickup in fantasy.
I want to see Chris Brooks more.
And
I want to see Chris Brooks. I want to see more.
Brooks is cool, and he'll get his chance too. But they brought in some on the 2 RB, some of the 2 RB looks. I think
I love that formation, Ron. Just on its face, I love that formation.
Yeah, the 21 personnel, and then what's his face, McDaniel. He mentioned during the press conference that it's the 21 personnel when you have like a fullback and a running back, but when you take out the fullback and put another running back, that's actually called fast 21. And he goes, that's not something that he made up, or that's specific to Miami because they're fast. It literally is called fast 21 when you have 2 running backs instead of a fullback and a running back. So that's the fast 21 personnel grouping, and especially when we had Achane in there with Mostert, there was no faster 21, super fast 21, right? Then that formation. I love that personnel grouping. It's phenomenal. I don't know. I think they'll do it when Wilson comes back. I wonder if they'll do it with Ahmed and Mostert. I don't know. Not sure on that. We'll have to see. It's just really disappointed. I'm trying not to get too much in my feels about what happened to Devon and the injury and the fact that we still don't have all the knowledge and don't know how long he's going to be out, etc. But I really hope he's at least back by the Chiefs game. And man, wouldn't it be amazing if Ramsey could be back by that game? But I don't think he'll be back by then, but that would be pretty awesome.
I personally look at it from this perspective. First of all, I just wanted to tell another little story. I play Madden 06 because that's the only Madden I even play anymore. I bought Madden 25. I bought it for the Wii. I didn't know they weren't the same game. Oops, stupid me.
There's Madden 25.
Because that was like an anniversary title.
Oh, is that what it was? I was confused because I thought it was Madden 24 right now in the 23.
Yeah, it's Madden 24. They went back to counting after Madden 25,
I don't know why.
which I bought on the Wii, which was dumb because it's not the same game.
Is it Madden 24 because it's the 24th? No, it's not, because they've been doing Madden since the 90s. Why don't they just do it for the season that you're on? It's so annoying that Madden 24 is the season 2023 season and Madden 23 is the 2022. It's so annoying. Like, why do they do it that way?
Because they're all the same game and they don't want you to know it.
Well, yeah, but then name them right. I mean, just fix it. Why'd you do that to begin with?
Because
money I can't remember if they did that in the 90s. Like, I don't remember if Madden 94 was
in the 90s.
The 93 season.
In the 90s, there was competition. You were allowed to do other games. NFL 2K existed on the Dreamcast. NFL 2K1 existed on the Dreamcast. They had to fight for the right to be able to say they were the guy. I'm sorry, folks, that this has turned into suddenly a video game podcast.
I don't think I think most people who watch football probably play or have played.
But it's like Madden. It's the same concept, man. I watch every year. There's this one YouTuber. I think it's called the Angry Joe Show. He makes an hour and 15-minute video essay pointing out everything wrong with every year's iteration of Madden. And you know what he says? The problem is the exact same game again. Every single thing, right down to the buggy programming, the exact same glitches, the exact same shortcomings, the exact same everything. They did copy, paste, and they just added new players. That's all they do. That's the frustration. That's why that's why people get mad at it now. In the 90s, you had other people competing to be able to say, "Hey,
they were absolutely better games." As you went from I remember playing 92, 93, 94, 95, and as you went to each one, it was clearly a better game with like a little better, even if you were playing it on the same console, which mostly I was playing it on Sega Genesis, because I'm old, guys. I'm old.
But and Tecmo Super Bowl, technically speaking, that was also a simulation game. You were playing a game. You didn't get to do trades and stuff like that, but you were able to play the game. You can't do that anything else now. There's literally a legal block on any company that wants to say, we want to try what Madden is doing, because they have an NFL agreement with them.
Well, now imagine this reverse to Madden. They weren't even licensed, so you didn't have the Miami Dolphins. You just had Miami that had like pretty much the Miami colors, or the San Francisco 49ers were just San Fran, and none of the players had names. They only had the number. So you just had to know who they were. Now, the coolest, I remember, okay, we're really getting into a Madden conversation here. I don't even play Madden anymore. I haven't for years. But the coolest thing was when, I think it was Madden 94 that did it. I think they gave you old teams to play with. So you could play like they had, and I don't remember how many teams they had, but they picked like 10 or so of the greatest teams in NFL history. You could play with the 85 Bears. I remember this. You could play with the 72 Dolphins and all their players. And that's when I learned that there was a number 13 who played defense for the Dolphins. I was like, there's a number 13 who played defense for the Dolphins in the 70s. You could play with the 84 Niners, like the team that beat Miami in the Super Bowl. And there was a couple Dallas teams you could play with. I don't remember which ones. And I think you could play with one of the Pittsburgh teams in the 70s. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun. I don't even know. Did the new Maddens have, like, can you do that now? Can you play with old teams? Do they have that option?
Yes and no.
You kind of have to make it, don't you? You have to like put the teams together manually.
No, some of the new Maddens, I have to emphasize some of the new Maddens. Like they interchange years, because that's the trick. That's the trick that they play. They add new features and take away some of the ones you liked, so that way when in 3 years
then they'll add them back. Oh, look at this cool
it's a
feature
brand
they
new
added.
feature. No, you had it 10 years ago.
That's funny. Funny.
I
know it seems funny that we're talking about Madden, but Miami is kind of putting up Madden numbers. Man, I love the reaction. I guess Travis Kelce and his brother Jason. Did I have that right, Kelce?
Jason and
they have a podcast together. Man, their reaction to that 70-point game was like, holy crap. It was so hilarious. That was an awesome game. Yeah, this last game was awesome too. I mean, 500-something yards of offense, and we turned over the ball 3 times. I mean,
at least the Chiefs and the Eagles respect us.
Everybody, what was it? Was it Winkdale? Is that the name of the defensive coordinator for New York?
Wink Martindale.
Wink Martindale. Yeah, that's right. When his wife called him, "How you sleeping?" "Oh, I'm sleeping like a baby. I wake up every 2 hours. I cry. I go to the bathroom. I go back to sleep." That was awesome. That was I like when sometimes you see coaches. "Oh, we're not scared of them." Blah blah. You will see that. You'll see
even Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott kicked our teeth in, and even he was saying, "I don't even know where to begin to try to stop that offense." And,
yeah,
I mean, he found something.
Yeah, he found a way, didn't he?
Like maybe it was just voodoo, straight up. Like here's how you beat the Dolphins defense. Yeah. You just get a little voodoo doll, just stick
exactly. And it's just going to be interesting to see. One coach is going to do it. Some coach or some player. It probably won't be a coach. It'll be some defensive player on some team. Probably Micah Parsons is going to talk mad shit about how our offense isn't that great or something. You watch. Someone's going to do it.
I 100% believe
someone on some team is going to talk smack or talk crap about Tua or something. Like it's going to happen, and it's like I promise you, Miami will unleash on that team, whoever does it. Good luck to you if you're the team or the coach that decides to open your mouth and say something stupid about how Miami's offense isn't real or isn't really that good, or they just do this or they just do that. Oh, who was it? What's that moron that used to be our GM? Mike Tannenbaum.
Yes, Mr.
Remember
Mike
when he showed some little film? Here's how you stop Miami's offense. And then even his own co-host Greenberg was like, "You just showed an example of him getting a 40-yard play." That's a terrible example. Yeah, that was hilarious. Someone will talk. Someone will say something from another team. You watch. I look forward to unleashing on that. It was fun to unleash on Denver. I had no ill will towards the Giants. They beat Brady twice in the Super Bowl. I a closet Giants fan.
We never,
of course, we wanted to beat them, but
we never beat Eli Manning.
No, we didn't, did we?
Nope. We never beat Eli Manning when he was the Giants quarterback, even in his twilight.
We were never really good when he was
the
Giants quarterback, though. I mean, we had moments where we were decent, but we were never really that good when we were Giants quarterback. All right. Well, you know what? It's 35 minutes into the show. I guess we should start talking about the Panthers. Should I start Bryce? I'm in a conundrum in my fantasy league.
No, don't.
I have Trevor Lawrence, who I haven't looked. Wait. Who I haven't looked. You may not like fantasy, but others do. Who I haven't looked, but I'm pretty sure since it's after the London game, I imagine Trevor Lawrence is on bye. And I'm in a 14-team league, and the pickings are Sliz M for quarterback. So I'm thinking somebody was saying pick up Bryce Young. Our defense isn't great. He'll probably be throwing around a lot. He runs. I'm like, yeah, that's possible. Do you think Dolphins would trade for Patrick Surtain? No, I don't. That'd be awesome. Oh, wait. I'm just sitting there. People are wondering where did that come from? There you go. You think Dolphins would trade for Patrick Surtain?
I think they're just wanting to add more pieces. Like,
give me more. I don't think Denver is going to trade him. I mean, they don't have a lot of great pieces, and he's one of them, and he's still fairly cheap.
Don't get me wrong. I would love if one day.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Came home to play on the same team that his father
PS2
did.
On the Dolphins. I love it, but I don't see it anytime soon.
The only does Sam have a son?
No, I don't know. SM2? I don't know. But anyway, real quick, and the pickings are slim for me to grab a guy just for this week. And Trevor Lawrence has kind of been mid this year anyway, fantasy wise, but whatever, he'll get around. But my choices are like Bryce Young, Mac Jones. That's a no. I think I saw Garoppolo available, who wasn't available last week.
How many
somebody dropped him.
In your league?
14.
Oh my God, that's pretty much every quarterback.
Yeah, man. If you take 2 each, it's pretty much all the quarterbacks. And one guy has Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow.
Okay, that's overkill.
Yeah, it was. And he's sorry that he did that. He just thought, I can trade him. I can trade him, and no one will trade him because he was a moron for doing that. But anyway, I was thinking Gardner Minshew, man. I'm thinking I might just pick up Minshew. I don't know who he plays this week. I got to look at the week matchups and see. Somebody was like, pick up Sam Howell. Nope, he ain't available. He ain't available.
For what it's worth, the Colts play the Jaguars next.
That's a thought. Oh, wait, the Colts play the Jaguars this week?
Yeah.
Oh, so the Jags aren't on a bye, so then I don't have to worry about it.
They actually play October 15th, 1 o'clock.
Oh, well, never mind. All this for nothing. I don't have to worry about it this week.
I
need to start looking ahead and figure out. That's really weird that they're coming back from London and they're not on a bye. Usually a team, after they take a trip from an overseas game, they'll go on a bye week.
Well, they were there for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah, I know, but still, they still have to come back. But anyway, all right, so let's talk about this Carolina game, man. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I'll go ahead and I'll just say this real quick. I would never suggest you pick up Bryce Young for any reason. Okay,
well,
number one, never mind the fact that he's playing.
Justin Fields is pretty good in fantasy this year, and that team's terrible, and he's not a great quarterback.
He's good for the last 2 weeks. The first 3 weeks, he was god awful.
Well, I don't know that he was god awful in fantasy. Was he? I don't know. I wouldn't.
No, Bears couldn't score, man. What are you getting?
But if he's running around and stuff, especially in a league where you're only getting 1 point for every 25 passing yards and 4 point passing touchdowns, those running quarterbacks are extremely valuable, really valuable.
Well, I guess I'm just not used to it anymore because I'm not in a PPR league. Yeah. I'm in a touchdowns are what really give you the big boost. So,
well, of course, touchdowns give you the big boost, but not as much when passing touchdowns from quarterbacks because they're only 4 points in my league. Now, if they were 6 points, yeah, that's a different story. But anyway, let's talk about the Panthers game. So how much we going to
I was talking about the Panthers game. Bryce Young. I'm looking at Bryce Young, and I'm thinking to myself, you're not good. You're really not. I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know if there's
He's a rookie playing on a terrible team with he has nan weapons, dude. 0. That guy has less weapons to throw to than Tannehill had. Mac Jones has a superior selection of players to throw to compared to Bryce Young.
And that includes
It's not fair. Parker. We cannot judge Bryce Young right now by what you see on the field from this team and everything, man. You cannot.
So we're not liking Adam Thielen, Laviska Shenault, Jonathan Mingo.
Adam Thielen's okay, but what has he done since Diggs left? Nothing. I kind of feel like Diggs was taken, was just kind of getting the coverage. So, and he was just kind of feeding. Like, he just hasn't done anything. Even in Minnesota, he didn't do anything after Diggs left. You know what I mean? So Thielen's okay, but just besides Thielen, they just don't have anybody, man.
I mean, I guess nobody's buying into the DJ Chark hype.
No, that's no hype. He's a wide receiver 3 on any good, decent team, dude.
No,
he
Miles
should be
Sanders
nobody's
hype.
2 or 1. Like, he's just a guy. He's the kind of guy that like New England signs and the Patriots fans are like, oh God, Super Bowl, you know, because they think everybody they sign and draft is like, oh, I just remember my friend, he's a New England fan. Oh, Bill Belichick's gonna turn Mac Jones into Tom Brady. Like, shut up, bro. It's such a moron, dude. Give it up. So that's like what people think's gonna, like, DJ Chark is just a dude. Like, he's nobody that the Dolphins have to worry about on defense, and neither is Adam Thielen, man. These are just guys. Like this honestly, the Giants had more talent to worry about for Miami to worry about than the Panthers do. Like, straight up.
So, well, I mean, if Saquon Barkley had been there, I would have bought it. Yeah. But
you know what? Let's go back to this offense. Let's look at the bottom right here. I'm gonna put it up here. Let's look at Carolina. I've got it going on here. Let's see. Present, share screen, and share. Are we good? You see it? Carolina's right here. You see where my mouse is?
Okay, so where is that on the? I see the Giants at the bottom, the very bottom. So
yeah, they suck too.
31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 23rd overall. Wait.
Yeah, it's yards. It's in yards per game. So yeah, it's not very good. They are. Let's see here. What are they? Yards per pass. Not even 200 yards. Not even 100 yards. Excuse me. Per
what is that? The passing yards?
Yeah.
Passing yards per game is what, 198?
Yeah, 198. Rushing yards 96. Total points, right? Miami has scored 181. Carolina has scored 91. So pretty much almost to the point, exactly half. Right?
And the funny
91
thing is
times 2 is 182. So yeah, we have scored twice as many points as them. Twice.
Look who's on the bottom.
Wait, can we do it together? You suck.
I'll do the Scooter Recruiter.
I'm just enjoying that. I don't care. I don't care. New England fans can suffer for the rest of their lives having crappy players. Y'all had 20 years, the most dominance we've ever seen. I hope you suck for the rest of my life. Seriously,
there are people talking about that they might try to force Bill Belichick out of New England.
Do it. Hey, you know what? Force him into an early retirement. He doesn't deserve to pass Shula. He did it all with Brady and cheating. He doesn't deserve to have Shula's record. He doesn't have the integrity of Shula. He doesn't have the talent of Shula, and he doesn't deserve that freaking record. Tom Brady got him that record, and I hope he falls on his face and doesn't get it. That's how I feel about that shit.
I mean, I can't argue.
Bill Belichick is a defensive coordinator who got lucky and drafted Tom Brady in the 6th round. And if he hadn't done that, he'd have gotten fired after a few years in New England and been a defensive coordinator, bouncing around the league here and there, and known as one of those great defensive coordinators. That's what he would have been, man. Like, because he's no offensive coach, and he's certainly no offensive talent evaluator. Because you could say, oh, well, he was smart enough to draft Tom Brady. He was also dumb enough to pass on him 5 times. So how smart was he really? I don't think so.
He got lucky, just like if the 49ers have lucked right the heck into Brock Purdy. You really think they were looking at Mr. Irrelevant and saying, you're the guy for the future?
This is my guy. It's my QB of the future. But
the last pick in the whole draft.
There's a lot of people still not convinced that Purdy's anything but just a system guy. That if you take him outside of San Fran and he'll do nothing. Nothing. You know, there's something to be said, obviously, for any quarterback being in the right system with the right talent. Clearly,
absolutely.
Look at Tua.
Yes.
Yeah, look at Tua. However, there were a lot of kind of what do you call them? Like not high statistics, but advanced stats, right? There was a lot of little like bits of advanced stats that were showing Tua did things at a very high level in some areas. And he just wasn't in the right situation, period. Luckily, he didn't have to go somewhere to get that right situation. That right situation came to him in the in McDaniel and Tyreek. Have you seen Tua's stats this year with Tyreek off the field?
They're ballistic.
It's insane. He you know how they have those charts where they show, and they call him top right Tua because he's always at the top right. And the Dolphins are always at the top right.
Yeah, they put it in the 5 reasons.
Like Tua's pretty much at the top right, but then without Tyreek, he's like literally off the chart. He's like 34 of 36. I don't even remember, like for like 400 yards and I don't know, some insane, like 4 touchdowns. I don't know. It's just all these stats are insane. No picks. He is absolute perfection with Tyreek even off the field. So no worries there. Like no worries there. So it's not all Tyreek.
There's your numbers right there.
Yeah, right there. That's it. That's the one. Look at that. Look at that. And people, you know what? Look at Brock Purdy, man. He's doing well.
Yeah, Purdy's doing good too. But you just look at it. The difference between Tua with Hill and Tua without Hill. People are talking about, oh, Tyreek Hill, he's the reason Tua's good. Look, Tyreek Hill not being on the field turns Tua into a god. That's the way it looks like it here.
And I think the biggest thing that's helping Miami's offense this year was something they set out and they clearly were looking to do last year, is that they wanted more yak too, just to make it a little easier so that every throw didn't have to be some perfectly anticipated 12-yard pass in the middle of the field in traffic. They're giving him more yak and giving opportunities for this team to have more yak, which is helping, number one. And number two, what's helping is, remember right now, 5 games in, we're 4-1, right? So we've played 5 games.
4-1.
Yeah. So 5 games in, going into week 6, we didn't even show an inkling of a run game yet last year. I mean, not even a little bit. We didn't really start running the ball until like maybe decently until like halfway through the year. And even then it was kind of muddled. It was kind of, sometimes we'd run it well, and then sometimes we'd kind of go away from it again. Man, the run game is just insane. It's so good. I can't ever remember any NFL team that could do both of these except for the 2000, was it 2000, right? The 2000 LA Rams, man. The Rams, or St. Louis Rams, right? At the time. Were they in St. Louis or were they in LA? I don't know, man. They've bounced around too much.
But I think it was St. Louis. Marshall Faulk and Kurt Warner
and
Torrey Holt
and Torrey Holt and all these guys, man. This offense, that greatest show on
Surf.
Yeah, that greatest show on turf really was amazing to watch. And I haven't seen anything offensively that wasn't a gimmick and was just pure talent, play calling, etc. since then. In my opinion, I haven't seen anything like that in the NFL since then. And we've seen some pretty good offenses, no doubt. Obviously, Saints and Drew Brees. I mean, that guy threw for 5,000 yards. How many times? A bunch of times. And actually, they have the number 1 overall offense, I think, overall for a season, even over that Rams team. But I just haven't seen anything like it, man. It's amazing. It truly is amazing to watch. Is it unstoppable? Well, clearly not, because we saw Buffalo stop it. But good luck, man. And you know what? Play Buffalo every week. They're not going to do that every week, right? Like that's one game plan, one situation. You play, if those two teams play each other every week, sometimes one team's going to get up on the other, and sometimes, Josh Allen will always get his. If Josh Allen played Miami every single week, he'd throw for 8,000 yards and 97 touchdowns. But he doesn't play us every week. It's just amazing to watch. This offense is amazing to watch. I'm looking forward to this game. Trying my hardest, even though I'm just a fan. It doesn't matter not to look past Panthers and. I'm looking
past
the Philly game.
I'm looking past them. Like
the Philly game is going to be a telling game. I have a friend of mine who he's a big time. He's like, we are Dolphins fans. He's a Philly fan.
His name wouldn't happen to be Manny, would it?
No, it's not. It's not. I miss Manny though. Hey Manny, where you been, man? He is extremely scared about this Philly game. But again, we're not here to talk about the Philly game. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah. All right. I just want to say this real quick. You mentioned Drew Brees in that offense. Once again, from the very beginning, we were saying, and I was comparing the same career trajectory. How long did it take for Drew Brees to become Hall of Fame quarterback Drew Brees?
He didn't do it until he was traded from San Diego to New Orleans,
which is a brand new, completely different.
Was he traded or was he a free agent? I think he was a free agent.
He was a free agent.
He was a free agent because they signed River. They drafted River.
The Dolphins passed on him for Gante Culpepper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's not even talk about that. But that was the Nick Saban.
That's how he got there. That's how he got there.
That was the Nick Saban year.
He found Sean Payton. He got to New Orleans.
Yeah, and it worked out, man.
Coach, right scheme.
Yep.
And he became a Hall of Fame quarterback.
And like I said, this time the situation, he didn't have to go find it. It came to him. Right
head coach, right scheme.
Yep.
Almost the same amount of time. This is what, Tua's fourth year now in the league?
Yeah, fourth year, but it was Tua's third year. It was Brees' fifth year because he had played 4 years in San Diego.
A smidge of an accelerated timeline.
Yeah.
But still.
Which is good.
It's the same guy.
Yeah. Accurate. He can stay healthy. He's got a chance to have a prolific Hall of Fame career. He really does.
Accurate to a T. Doesn't have the best arm in the world. But doggone it, man. He will fit it into the tiniest hole
about the same height. They were both about the same height. So, yeah, it's interesting.
All we need now is the one Super Bowl.
Yeah, we got to get the Super Bowl, man. That's right. We got to get the Super Bowl. And hopefully McDaniel won't be retiring in 20 years, talking smack for a year, and then going to coach some team and getting slaughtered. But, man, I would like to see the Dolphins get these extensions, get 2 extensions done. That you're worried about the Christian Wilkins one? I'm not. There's 2 extensions I want to see get done soon. That's Tua and McDaniel. Well, those are the ones that matter to me.
McDaniel's not in any danger of going anywhere anytime soon.
No, I just want to see him. No, but I'm so tired of 2, 3, 4 years. 2, 3, 4 years. We never even make it 4 years on a coach. 3.5 is about the max, and then they get fired during the bye week. That's
because they suck. McDaniel.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to having a coach, and especially wanted to be McDaniel, that has like a nice long, at least 10-year career with us. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm looking forward to, man. I don't want to lose this guy. I don't want to lose McDaniel.
I want him until he's old and gray. Get him.
I do.
Carroll.
I want him I want him out there so old he's looking like Marv Levy out there.
At that point, we might be
R.I.P.
Well, back in my day, we were able to get 10 yards per play.
Exactly.
Tua's gone by now, dude. He's your assistant quarterback coach now.
Exactly.
He's gone. All right.
Nice.
All right, let's go. Let's do I said we were going to look at tweets, so we're going to look at tweets real quick.
Let's look at some tweets.
So I asked everybody, how's everybody feeling about this team so far? Squeaky19 says, feel really good. Been rolling with the punches as far as injuries, and our depth outside of Eichenberg has been really good. Yeah, pretty much. The depth, Ron, look at the depth on this team. We were expecting it. It's so top heavy. We thought for sure, one thing's going to go sour, and it's all going to fall apart. Granted,
I didn't think that. I think I made that argument.
There were a lot of people
because Omar tried to say that, and we made this argument, and I know I did on this show in the summertime that was not the case. That we had depth on this team for sure.
All right. Back in my day, you could get a combo at Wendy's for $3.99.
I was just telling somebody about 99-cent Whoppers at work a couple days ago. They're like $5.69 now for a Whopper. That's nuts, bro.
Nuts. This person, a spaceship is the only thing on there. At Nani from Miami, we still haven't beaten a good enough team to be convinced we can go all the way. Example, the Bills game.
Yeah, well, if it's only the Bills as an example, I don't think they're a good example.
I mean, to be fair,
kind of have our number.
I'll play devil's advocate. The only other team that we can say that we've really been tested by is the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers are a pretty decent team.
We beat them.
We beat them in LA. But we have, here's the thing. That doesn't matter because we have plenty of tests like that coming up. The Eagles, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Ravens, and the Bills again.
I still don't think the Cowboys should be in that list. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're a good team. That's definitely not a team I would look over. I would look by or look past, I should say.
All right. And Lil Kim also commented. All she said was, "Woo!" So that Little
Kim, It's a rapper, Lil Kim?
No, it's a Dolphins fan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just didn't know. That'd be interesting if she was watching the Pulse of Fins Nation.
Well, maybe she is. Who knows? Hi there, Kim.
I'm going to say she's not. I'm just going to take a guess.
I
think we got a better chance that Tua and McDaniel are watching this than we have.
She's been following me for a long time.
And then we have that Lil Kim's watching.
So Jay, who talked about Wendy's just now, also wants to mention we need a nose tackle and a linebacker. Raekwon Davis is too small.
Yeah, he lightened up again. And he's a little small to be playing. No, we don't really have any true nose tackle. I think you just mean we need a little bit bigger defensive tackle. Yeah, we could use that. I don't know.
Brandon Peely ain't it.
Yeah, I don't know what their thoughts are there. And linebacker, I don't know if this Miami team is looking to make any trades at the deadline unless something happens injury-wise.
Can I throw something at you?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I had a debate. Well, it was a one-tweet debate, really. But Chad Johnson had tweeted out that the NFL has evolved. Linebackers are not, you don't need the big bruising linebackers anymore. It basically said Zach Thomas would be worthless in today's NFL. And I looked at him and I said, but that's exactly what the Dolphins are missing right now, is that big thumper linebacker who's going to help stop the run, because Landon Roberts on this defense, I really feel like would be able to make at least one or two plays a game. I really do. So I don't expect him to be,
but he would be exposed in other ways.
Just like
I get what they're saying though, because base defense was the way of the world back in the day, and now it's just not. People are living in the nickel and even big nickel and things like that these days, and that it does take away opportunities for your traditional middle Zach Thomas type top linebacker. They're going to be on the field. Look, Zach Thomas right now is going to be on the field every day, but what he was good at isn't necessarily as effective as it was back then. I don't agree that they're useless. No, I would trust me, if we had Zach Thomas, he'd be making some damn plays. You know what I mean? But that he wouldn't look like he looked back then. He just wouldn't. It is absolutely. I agree that it's absolutely different.
It is different, yes. But I also believe truly that if Landon Roberts were still on this team, he'd be making one or two plays a game just by getting into gaps and stopping.
I have to say, I would prefer, especially, I don't know though, because this Fangio's defense, Fangio's defense, he expects a lot out of the linebackers. They're required to cover a lot of ground. They can a tendency to get exposed. And I think Landon Roberts would have been exposed in this scheme more than any of the linebackers. I think if he was actually still on the team, I think most fans would be extremely frustrated with him. If he was there instead of David Long, and I know people aren't happy with David Long's production so far compared to what we thought it would be. I'm telling you right now, Landon Roberts would have gotten uber exposed trying to play the role that David Long's playing. I really
don't want a Landon Roberts.
Not an expert in such things, but
I don't need him as a coverage guy. If anything, I would want a Landon Roberts to act as like a goal line linebacker and just stuff the hell out of the running back.
That's not how Fangio's defense works, man. That's just not how he plays.
On the goal line and that third, fourth,
and one. Goal line, yeah, but I mean, you want to keep a guy around just to do a few goal lines, just
because Landon Roberts was so expensive.
Yeah, well, he's more than what he costs more money than what we could use him for. I would like to see us upgrade the linebacking spot. I agree with that. I just don't think a guy like Landon Roberts is the answer. I don't know that Miami's going to go out and make any moves this trade deadline. I mean, they surprise us all the time, right? So they could again. I just don't know if they are. Yeah, that was almost free.
It is.
They might have given up 20 spots of draft position for that. Maybe. I'm be very curious to see, and probably both those picks won't end up on either team by the time we get there in 2025 draft. But I'd be curious to see those picks and where they end up, how close or far apart they are from each other come draft time. My guess is they're going to be fairly close together. And it's not, that pick is was like free. And the money really wasn't a big thing either. So, it should be interesting to see what Chase Claypool does. I have no idea what his involvement will be in the team. But hey, don't you have some questions to ask so we can wrap up the show?
Yes, we do. So 0, hero, and what's your score? Ron, let's just jump right in.
0. Jerome Baker.
That was my 0 last week.
Yeah,
it's getting increasingly difficult to find a 0.
Yeah, it is. My hero, my unsung hero, man, I think Mostert's gonna go ham. I think he's gonna go nuts. I mean, he's your boy too. I probably took away your hero, didn't I?
No, I did. And then, now that I think about it, yeah, maybe you did. But at this point, it's like
38-14.
38-14. Better. So we clean up our mess from the Giants game.
Yeah. Only one turnover in this game.
Is it an interception or a fumble?
It'll be a fumble. Tua's not gonna throw any picks this game.
I don't know. I think he'll throw one. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, he'll do. He's always good for one stupid thing in every game.
The first one was stupid. The first one was him trying to. They were trying to get Waddle going, get him involved, get him pumped because the team is having such an amazing time, and he probably feels like, due to injury and things like that, he hasn't been quote unquote part of it. I think the team is kind of aware of that. And I think they were really trying to get him involved. It's important that he gets involved and gets his confidence up and gets going. I think Tua was trying a little too hard on that play. But this is all just my opinion. I'm not there. So
Waddle hasn't walled in a while. So speaking of zeros, I'm going with Jalen Waddle.
Oh man, no! I think he'll do good this game.
No, because we've been saying he's going to do good in this game. He'll do good in this game. He'll do good. We keep waiting for the Jalen Waddle breakout game. I don't think it's
coming. Oh, it's coming. It's absolutely coming, man.
I don't think it's 100%. Coming in this game. It's gonna go to they're gonna go to Tyreek 1,000 times. They'll throw a couple of passes to Braxton Berrios. They're gonna do some dump offs to Raheem Mostert and probably Savon Ahmed.
Dude,
they'll hit Durham
the game
a couple of times.
You know the game that it's coming? The Bama Bowl in 2 weeks. Hurts and
Devonta Smith.
And Smith. And then who and Smith, you could say probably isn't even their number one receiver. He's their wide receiver too. And Tua and Waddle, who is also Miami's wide receiver too. Like the Bama Bowl, man. That's a game I could see it being like Devonta Smith and Waddle just both go like crazy. They both go nuts. I could see that. But that would be interesting. You know what? Next week, my hero is Waddle. I'm just calling it now.
Okay, I'll remember that. I'll remind you if you don't pick him.
Yeah, if I don't remember, let me know.
Okay, but for this week though, he's my 0. Sorry, Jalen.
Weak.
For my hero, I mean, I'm not gonna shy away from it. Raheem Mostert. He's
You're not
allowed
the guy. You had to pick something else.
I never said that.
Is that not the rules?
This is my game. It's my rules, and I never once told anybody that you can't pick the same guy.
What's your score?
I'm picking the same guy. My score. I'm gonna pick 31-13. I always pick 31 for the Dolphins. They always score at least 30.
31-13. Isn't that what the last? Wasn't that what was the score for the 31-16?
And right. I think I picked them at a 31-13 last time. I honestly did.
We played. Let's see. Now Buffalo really they ran it up on us, but Denver only scored 1 touchdown on us, right? Because then they had 2 field goals.
Yes.
Yeah, on offense, and then the Giants didn't score any touchdowns on us.
They got 3 field goals.
So the defense can show up against lesser teams. We just need them to show up against better teams.
That's the thing. That's what we're waiting for.
Because they've struggled against the good teams big time.
All right. So that's going to be it for this show, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already done so, make sure you go to Pricepicks.com. Use that promo code 5. That's FIVE, and they will match up to $100 on your initial deposit when you sign up. All you have to do is put in that promo code, put in 5 reasons, basically put that promo code 5, and they're going to give you $100 of their dollars for you to play with, so you can get started winning today. All right, Ron.
Don't we have a brewery we're supposed to promote, or we're not promoting that?
The brewery is still going, so make sure you head on over there, and
Biscayne
we'll see if we're gonna head on over there in the near future. So head on over there, downtown Miami.
Hey, I got a new car. I did. I finally got rid of my piece of crap.
I will let you know when the next watch party is, sir.
All right. So yeah, now I trust to actually get down there.
All right. And that's going to be it for this show. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you all next week for another episode of the Pulse of Fins Nation.
See.